I'm Uriah Celestino,
And I'm Emilee Wells.
and this is Hoofbeat News.
Good morning, FMHS. Today is Monday.
Today is January 26th, and we want to welcome you to a brand new year of Hoofbeat News.
Up first this week is Emilee's update on the FMHS basketball team.
The boys and girls basketball team is excited to kick off the start of the season with their first home game on Tuesday, January 26th.
I'm most excited for our first game because it'll get the season started and we'll get to start playing.
Is getting to play our first game and just getting back on the court and getting back into the rhythm.
I'm most excited for the first one. It just seems like it's been forever, and it's fun to get in the gym. It's fun to practice with your own guys, but a scrimmage is close, but it's not the real thing, and it's going to look a lot different this year without nearly as many fans, both on the road or even at home here with limited attendance. But I think myself and just the boys in general are just excited just for that first real game.
This season has been difficult for both teams and very different than the past couple years.
This year's a lot different because we have to wear masks for practice in our games, and we couldn't have our open gyms because of the limits, so we can only have 10 people for a while. And the season's a lot shorter, so we don't get to have as many games, and we don't get to start practice as early to prepare, so it's going to be a lot different season.
I have to say the masks and the game times and just practices in general is just because we have to separate our groups and stuff into varsity, JV, stuff like that. So it's a different tone and different kind of pace.
This year's been obviously a struggle with all the COVID stuff going on. Smaller groups of kids, so that was kind of a struggle just to get them in those cohorts and those types of things. But I think the biggest thing was just adjusting to the masks and having to get into that routine of temperature checks and just juggling the various schedules that we've had to do. They've done an excellent job. They've been super positive about it, just kind of rolled with the punches, if you will, adjusted to everything on the fly. And we're just happy to be playing, and the kids are just excited that we got a season coming up.
Thanks, Emilee. As you know, at Hoofbeat, we like to take a look at different kind of personalities around the Fort Morgan High School.
This week, Colton got the inside scoop on one of our teachers, Miss Johnson.
Today, I interviewed one of the science teachers here at FMHS, Mrs. Johnson.
My name is Nicole Johnson, and I teach sophomore biology, general and honors, and then I also teach AP biology to 11th and 12th graders. I was actually born in Wyoming, but I only lived there for a couple of years. I was a tiny little person when I lived there. And then my family lived in South Dakota until I was in middle school. When we moved to Colorado, I moved to Windsor, Colorado, and that's where I graduated from high school from, and I've been in Colorado ever since. Sunlight, isn't that technically reactive? So when I was a really little person, elementary, middle, and even to some degree, I think in high school, the first part of high school, I did definitely want to be a teacher. And then, I don't know, something my junior, senior year switched for me, and I thought I wanted to make a little bit more money than what teachers make generally. And so I had some other plans for a while. I had looked at optometry, and I did an internship with an optometrist in Fort Collins, and it was boring. But I would say by my sophomore, junior year of college even, I was back to this idea of wanting to be a teacher again. And you're correct, but I'm gonna put an asterisk by it. Yeah, I spend a lot of time with my family, right? They are my main focus. But as a family, we like to, when it's nice, we try to get into the mountains as much as we can, hiking. We haven't done a lot of camping recently, just because I'm a little bit scared with, a 1-year-old. But hiking, camping, anything mountain related. I guess personally do yoga and pretend I want to try running every now and again. So that's I would say that, and then we get plenty of Netflix time too. So watching movies.
What side of
The students are the absolute best part of teaching. And it's even on days that are rough, or, like maybe I'm like not excited about something, it's like the students can absolutely change the day around and make the day awesome. Getting to talk to you guys and hear your stories and learn things about you. And when you all learn something, that's so cool. So just the relationships I have with students.
Radiant energy into a type of chemical energy that is one of
Best advice I've ever gotten. Actually, maybe from my high school. Gosh, he taught me a bunch of classes. So he was my high school psychology teacher, world history teacher. I had a bunch of classes with Mr. Campbell. He gave me the Serenity prayer, and that's still something that I try to keep in my mind to figure out what it is that I can control, and what I can't, and then to just have the grace and patience to sort of like work your way through that other stuff. And so that's been advice that's always kind of stuck with me.
C6, age 12. You guys will know it by the time we're done here.
I would say the thing that is to stay true to yourself. Honestly, I know it's really hard to not worry about what other people are thinking, and I think you should definitely consider other human beings and how what you do and say impacts and affects them, and try to not have a negative impact on other people. But sometimes you just have to be true and make choices because it's the best thing for you. Like, make decisions based on what's going to have the greater good sometimes, than what might be popular or uncomfortable.
And oxygen. Interesting. And then
the best advice I would give to my students is to find things that they are passionate about, to find things that they are curious about, to use your gifts and talents, and to think about how, like, what is the point where all of those things come together? How do you go out and make the world a better place? I'm like all about how do we just leave this world a little bit better than we found it. But I think the mark of a life well lived is have you done good things for other people and for the world? So yeah, do your best to do that, I guess, would be my advice.
And now here's a quick word from a former student of Miss Johnson.
Well, she was very good at explaining like what we had to learn, and she was very good with like her techniques of teaching us.
If you haven't gotten to know Mrs. Johnson, make sure to take one of her science classes here in the future.
Finally, today Uriah took a closer look at a group here at FMHS whose job is to document the memories. Here's the FMHS Yearbook.
What does a work day in Yearbook usually consist of for you?
So a work day, like, for Yearbook consists mostly like making sure that we finish our pages on time, and like try to help each other with anything, and like just interviewing people and taking pictures for the interview, and try to work together as a group.
Okay, and what is your favorite thing about Yearbook?
Mostly taking pictures at like sporting events or any school event.
And what is something that you dislike the most about Yearbook?
Well, the thing is that since I've been in Yearbook for like about, 3 years, it's mostly how like some people won't finish their work on time.
And do you think being involved with the Yearbook could potentially lead into an occupation in your future?
Maybe, but I was planning to be like a doctor or something, but I do like taking pictures as a hobby.
What is something that you think you would take away from being involved with the yearbook?
Be able to express myself like more by talking to others, being out in the open like more than I usually am, like being involved.
I'm a member of the yearbook staff. That is my role. It's pretty loose. Like, staff does a lot. You're either working on pages, getting pictures, doing business ads, all kinds of stuff.
And where do you like put the ads and stuff?
The kids will volunteer and they drive out to different businesses, ask them if they want to sponsor, and we get their information and it'll be put in the yearbook.
Okay. And what is your favorite thing about yearbook?
It's got a bit of a business environment. It feels more like a job than learning.
And what do you dislike the most about yearbook?
The stress. Our assignments, in quotes, are pages that we work on. So if you don't get that done in time, that is 100 points gone.
Do you think that your yearbook class could lead into a future occupation for you, or?
Not quite sure about that. It is a possibility. Like, this could lead into a lot of stuff relating to news and journalism if I wanted.
What is the biggest thing that you're going to take away from your book this year?
Caring a lot about what you work on would definitely be the most important takeaway. It's almost like art in of itself. You're putting a bunch of small things together to make something large, and when you put a lot of effort into it, it turns out to be a very well done thing. For those who still haven't ordered a yearbook, next Friday is the last week to get a yearbook guaranteed. We are not ordering any more after next Friday. And next Friday is also the last day to get your yearbook personalized.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your time in the interview.
Thanks, Uriah. Be sure to order your yearbooks while they are on sale.
And that's all the news that we have here this week, Fort Morgan High School.
We will see you next week for another episode of Hoofbeat. Be sure to let us know if there's anything you would like us to cover in future Hoofbeat videos.
From all of us here at FMHS, have a great week.